Hey, Freedom. I just wanted to come to you because we are 3 days away from our harvest offering for 2018. We've been praying for the last 5 weeks for God to send a harvest. The great thing about that is that we get to call upon our God, the one who owns all things, to be able to supply all our needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. We as a church are in a critical point because while we are excelling in doing ministry and touching people's lives, we also had a need there to be able to continue ministry the way we needed to do it. And so we called upon our people and we've been fasting and praying. I hope you've been too, because I know we have. We've been praying that God will provide a way where there seems to be no way. Our goal, $25,000 to be raised in 5 weeks. It may seem like a tall task for us, but we know that God is greater than anything we could ever imagine. I want to encourage you to not pull back. Do not pull away from the opportunity to sow into this great ministry. Jesus said, "Greater things will you do in my name." And I realize that we are in a very amazing point as a church. Just a few weeks ago, we got a prayer request on a Sunday morning. And that prayer request said, "Would you pray for this young lady who is now in a coma?" We said, absolutely. We got together as a church on Sunday morning, and Freedom, we prayed and we believed and we shook heaven and we said, send us a miracle. Just after service, I received a phone call. She woke up. Doctors couldn't explain it. Levels had went up. All these different things had taken place. And now the next day, she was able to go home, discharged from the hospital. Doctors can't explain it. She went home with her newborn child. It doesn't end there. Just this past Sunday, we got a prayer request on a Sunday morning that said, would you pray for this young lady? Her name was Rachel. The person that put the request in said, pray for Rachel because this week she woke up without any recollection of who she is, where she is, her family, or her friends, including the one that submitted the prayer request. So we prayed. We believed, and we invaded heaven with our prayers. And guess what happened? She called the young lady that submitted the prayer request and said, I don't know what happened. I got my memory back. The doctors are not really able to explain what happened. And guess what? The very next day, she too was discharged from the hospital. Let me tell you something, church. We are in the midst of something amazing here. You know what it is? It's we believing that God can do something and God following through. We are believing God for great things and he is following through. And guess who he uses? You. He uses you and he uses me. And I want you to know something. That's no different than what he's going to do with this harvest offering. He believes that we can lay hands on the sick and they will recover. He also believes that we can sow seed into ministry and great things will happen. We can preach the gospel and people will be saved and touched. These are all things that will happen in the latter days. Church, we have to begin to grab a hold of the things that are around us and the things that are happening. Can I encourage you? Please consider, especially covenant partners, I want and I am calling out church to 100% cooperation, 100% more than anything participation in this harvest offering. We're not asking you to take your tithes and your offerings and split it and then give some of that to harvest, some of that to... No, we're talking about above and beyond your normal tithes and giving. We have a goal of $25,000. And we haven't even taken our offering yet, and we are already $7,000 in the plus. So what happens in the next 3 days, we're going to pray that God would unleash heaven and just allow us to be used by him to be able to furnish the ministry, furnish the opportunities that are in front of us. So I encourage you right now to pray and believe with us for this harvest offering. We're receiving it on Easter Sunday morning. I encourage you to be a part of that in any way possible. Sow something so we can see great things happen. Can I encourage you, church? Stand behind this vision. I believe God gave me this vision for a reason, and I believe we can do this together. Pray and believe God for your part in this harvest offering. God bless you, and I'll see you Sunday.